Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa sallallahu sallam ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim tasliman kathira. A lot of wires around, just trying to reset this whole thing so I can make sure that everybody can hear me in my cords or not. Okay. Hope everybody can hear me clear, inshallah. It's already 7:03. Okay, good. So tonight, this evening is the 15th night. So tonight will mark the half of the month. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. It's just amazing at how time passes by and we are just floating. طيب. Okay. So inshallah today we'll go over, we already did blameworthy modesty. Yeah, we will go to ostentation, riya, and we'll talk a little bit about some of those things. Let me just go ahead and mute my phone. I wanted to check a little bit on. So ostentation, riya, doing things for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's what we're going to talk about, inshallah. Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah, he actually has a very long portion of his book that he kind of dedicates to this particular subject, which is a very important subject. Dammul jah wa riya, talks about asking or seeking, ostentation, high, reputation, place in people's, or in society, and so on and so forth. And talks about also, showing off in different, acts of worship, right? And then he talks about, in particular, the kibr. Kibr is kind of showing that you are greater than something else. So takabbur and takabbur is something that there has to be something as an opponent. So it has to be the two in between two things. Riya is, it's to see, either you see yourself great or greater than others, or you want other people to see you, great, see you someone special. So let's look at it, inshallah, a little bit. So one of the major things that he mentions here is that form of which, when a person performs acts of worship merely to obtain a place in other people's hearts. So a person who is showing off, I want people to know that I do this act. I want my name to be known. I want people to see me as someone who's worshiping. So, letting people know why is this a disease of the heart, and why is that something? Let me set this up a little bit. I think that's better. It's to, not that I want to show myself, I want people to see me. The Prophet ﷺ said that there's no problem in having, um, having good things and having things in a better way, and to wear good clothes, right? To say Alhamdulillah, you have a nice, good drink, a good drink versus, a huge 24 ounce of, McDonald coffee or Star or whatever, coffee, or you make a nice coffee that it's only 6 ounces or 8 ounces, but a good quality coffee, maybe even more expensive, but it's just, you're appreciating that ni'mah of Allah. The clothing that you wear, it's appreciating, the clothing that Allah has given me, right? The food that I eat, if I'm eating garbage and junk, that's actually, being unthankful, and is against being, showing shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the good that He has given you, the food that He has given you, the money that He has given you to spend on food. And it is something that perhaps maybe is for us to maybe think about, is that how much money do we actually spend on food versus on cosmetics, clothing, entertainment, and the list goes on. I think our big portion of our budget and our spending should be for our food, for good, healthy food. I know that healthy food could be very expensive and costly, especially organic, non-GMO, local grocery store, farmers market, those kind of places where you get, they're expensive perhaps than getting it from, big box stores. But the point that I was trying to say is that, try to get healthy food, even if it costs more, because when you eat that, you are just thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. Someone told me, that I knew, who, I was not kind of not thinking bad about that person, but I was just curious that, he told me that, mashallah, very well off person. You could see like he has a driveway in the garage, mashallah, he has 2 3 cars. I could see there are, mashallah, high-end cars in a huge mansion type house. And just a living room, I looked up and it looked like a 3-story ceiling. That's how big the house was. And then we were just talking about food, and he said, it's just so expensive. I have to get these bulk stuff from Walmart. And I said, why don't you get some healthy? He said, no, that's too expensive. And I just thought to myself that, you could spend so much money on all of this, which is, you know, what benefit that is going to give you if you're not eating healthy food, you're eating junk food. Literally a lot of people just live on junk food, drive-through food, not our ICNE drive food, mashallah. That's very healthy food from, mashallah, our volunteers, may Allah bless them. But in general, um, the drive food, fast food, what I'm talking about, fast food, stuff. So you eat healthy and you wear good stuff, you eat good stuff, you wear good stuff, and you keep good quality stuff. You don't have to have so many. You could have a few things, but good quality. Is just that thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being grateful and appreciating even something small that you have. So this is not considered as riya, as showing off. But the higher degree of showing off and ostentation is that you do an act of worship. So the other things that I mentioned, that comes later, but the higher level of takabbur, or sorry, of riya, of showing off, ostentation, is that you use an act of worship that is supposed to take you to Allah, right? An act of worship is to worship God. And when you're using that to impress others, to let other people know that you're doing that act, that's one of the greatest sins, one of the greatest sins. And therefore the Prophet ﷺ said that what I fear most of my community is doing things for other than the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a hadith. In another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that I, the lesser shirk, association with God, to associate partners with God, is the greatest sin. And actually it's something that takes you out of the fold of Islam. But someone who is doing an act of worship that was supposed to take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and using that to show off and to kind of gain fame or whatever, that was, so that's called shirk khafi, a shirk that is kind of hidden, because someone who's worshiping another idol or kind of has other associations with God, that's kind of obvious, it will be apparent. But if someone is doing something for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nobody can tell. It's a very hidden thing. And sometimes the person who's doing it cannot tell that he's doing something for other than for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what are the signs of that a person is not doing this for the sake of Allah, is doing it, is doing it for Allah, is saying that, oh Allah, I'm praying to the gods for you, or I'm giving this charity, or I'm spending this much money on this good project. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah, but hey, I want other people to also know that, hey, take a picture, giving them money. I'm not against that, but it's you should have always good opinion about people. But everybody's opinion or everybody's intention is doubtful. That I don't know what you intend, and I don't know, and you don't know what I am intending. So that's something that is hidden from all of us. So he mentions one of these signs of doing it for other sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the signs is that laziness and lack of action for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when one is alone and out of view of other people. So for example, and it's a very, to me, this is a very dangerous and a very fearful reason that he mentions. When I'm in the masjid, I'm praying very well, right? There's tarawih at the masjid, mashallah, praying very well. And when nobody's around, I just feel lazy, right? And because of that, I don't do it. Either I do it very quickly just to get the fard, get over with the fard, or I don't do it at all. So if that's the case, then that's very dangerous, and that's one of the signs. So that's how you tell that you're doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why fasting is very special in that that matter, because fasting is something that is hidden from people, and you cannot show off when you're fasting unless you tell people that you're fasting. So fasting is a hidden thing, and that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will reward every single person for all their good deeds, except for all the good deeds, except for siyam, except for fasting. Illa as-sawm fa innahu li, because that can only be for me. Who would go 16 hours fasting for whatever, not eating and drinking? It's very hard to show off with fasting, right? To fall into riya, right? That's why riya is only mostly into actions that normally people can see you. However, Imam Ghazali is called the Hujjat al-Islam. He's the proof of Islam. So he normally comes up with amazing, very insightful, and very subtle meanings of our worship and different, purification of the heart. He mentions it in one of his books. I can't remember exactly, but he does mention about, I think it's Bidayat al-Hidayah. He said that one of the or I think it's Minhaj al-Abidin, where he says that there's different types of riya. One of the hidden riya, ostentation, showing off, is that you actually do good deeds, or you do all the charity without letting people know, and you're doing it hidden, but you're doing it, I don't know how this is going to sound to you, but it's very, very subtle. He says that doing it, hiding and doing that, is that because you want people to later on know that this person was so pious that he did something in secret, and he didn't want people to know about it. When I read that for the first time, I was blown away. That's very powerful. So someone comes early in the morning to the masjid, he comes an hour before, and he's praying, and he doesn't want anybody to know. And then he prays, but then somewhere deep in his heart, he says, but if someone came in the middle of the night and saw me praying, and this will be it would just go viral, right? Because people say it, talk about me, that how pious this person is, that he didn't want anybody to know, and he was praying so secretively, and he's so pious, and he's so mukhlas in his action. The devil got you right there. So it's very important to that's why a believer is someone who worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when it's difficult times and when it's ease. A person who's spending for the sake of Allah when it's difficult times and when there's ease. When people know and when people don't know, openly and secretively, it's the same. A person will be on the highest level when his public appearance and his private life becomes equal. And we are living in really tough times where we have people who just have dual personalities, dual life. They have a different life, and it happens also with some of our youngsters, that at home they have a different identity, they put on this different hat, and then when they are in general in public, then they have a different hat they wear, and then when they come to the masjid, around Muslims, it's a different hat. However, to have your private and your public life equal, that it doesn't matter, there's no behind the scenes, life that we have, like this is in front of the camera and that's behind the scene. That person will be on the highest level. That person will be on the highest level of ikhlas if he's the same person as he in private as he is on camera, on tape. So when a person feels laziness when he's not in public and he cannot keep up with those good deeds and good actions, then that's a sign that there is a level of riya there, and that needs to be cured. And the second sign that he mentions there, one of the signs that he mentions, is that when people praise and people talk good about you, then you are now more active. If nobody's praising you, nobody's talking about you, then you just kind of sit back and you become lazy. So it's kind of like the outcome of the first one, laziness because of a person. But here he's talking more about when people say good about you, how you pray, now you start praying more because now people have already said this about me. So just because you want people to praise you, now that's not contrary to what people think about you. People think good about me. I want to be of that stature, and I want to be on a higher level, and actually on a very high level. And this is somewhat of one of the scholars, um, mm, yeah, that's true. Subhanallah, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. I just got lost. Can someone remind me where I was just reading that message? It just threw me off. Um, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Let me. I want to see who's following me. Who's actually following me? Not following in terms of the social media following. My talk. I don't know if this is making sense to everyone. Everyone looks like I'm always just talking to a camera, to one eye. Um, Nice. I like the comment, mashallah, Dr. Chima, saying that you won't put, you know, a regular gas in an airplane. Uh, why should we put bad fuel in our body? Thank you, Dr. Chima. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. La ilaha illallah. So a person increases one's action when is praise. Yes. So it's not. Yeah, I got it. I got it. The story of this pious person that someone saw him and said, and there were two people talking while he was passing by, and one person says to the other, this guy, he's such a pious person that he has been praying his Fajr Salat with Isha wudu, and he worships Allah all night. And this person was passing by. He was a pious person. He was one of the awliya. Um, when he heard that, he said that this is what people think about me, and here I am. I'm not doing what these two guys are saying. But he made a promise to Allah that from now on, I want to worship Allah every single night and not sleep a single night. And they say that after that, for 40 years, he continued that. That's istiqamah. And that's for the sake of Allah. He never knew that he was going to ever see those people. There is no Instagram and social media where people can post about whatever. I mean, once a person is gone, you might see that person after another 20 years. Who knows? Um, so that's, if someone thinks good about you, you should live up to those standards, but that should not be your standard, because people have set a standard for you. You have a higher standard, and people, you should not put people to think bad about you as well. You want to do, and that's why ittaqu mawadi'at tuham, the Prophet ﷺ said in one hadith, that do not do things that make other people think bad about you, or have a bad opinion about you, or suspect something wrong about you, right? The Prophet ﷺ was walking and he had his wife with him, and he saw a Sahabi coming in the dark, and because the person couldn't see who was behind him, he was one of his wives. He didn't want that person to think that, oh, who is he walking with in the nighttime? He said that with me is my wife so and so. So to also, but that's not a standard. If someone is thinking about you, you should be on the higher standard. um, and he says the root source of ostentation is desire, wanting something from a source other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why people want to do things to please others? Because they just want other people to say good things about them. Normally, I think it's a very common tradition. People see something nice, you say, wow, I like your shirt. Thank you. um, it's part of a culture, but a desire for someone that because I wore a nice shirt and now I want people to notice that. And after, I've sat there for a long time working for 8 hours among my colleagues, nobody said anything about my shirt, right? So that's riya'an. That's a riya, to show off, desire, wanting people. So other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially when it comes to acts of worship, to do them not to get any praise from God. You should praise others, but you should not want people to praise you, and you should not drive you away from doing that action if people didn't praise you or you went unrecognized. The amount of charity that you gave to the center, if it went unnoticed, if you were left anonymous, and it went unnoticed for a long time, right? Look at Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. He was always doing things secretively, and Umar radiallahu anhu was always wondering that, who is that person who always tries to be there before me, right? Always very quiet. Didn't want people to know, right? Umar radiallahu anhu, after going out in the nighttime, he's the Amir al-Mu'mineen. He could have had, people, Amir al-Mu'mineen serving widow, hashtag charity. Umar, right? Nothing of that sort. He told the lady said to Umar, "You're so kind and so generous and so hospitable. I wish you were the Amir." And Umar says, "Yeah, if you go see the Amir al-Mu'mineen, whenever you see him, you might see me there as well." So he didn't even tell the lady who he was, right? Normally when big shots, it's a very common thing, here is what we have given, here is the check, make sure that we got good coverage. Did you get it? No, just take it again. No, one more, one last one. To encourage people, that's great, especially like leaders, people who are in leadership. They should, some of the scholars have mentioned that to encourage others, to be a role model, to let people know, and to encourage, because people look at the leaders, people follow their leaders, and for that purpose, if they do it openly or they make it noticed, they notify people of what they're doing, to encourage them, that's fine. But the desire, I'm giving this because I want that recognition, I want to make sure that I was there in the picture, then that's a big problem. That's, the disease of the heart. It's terrible. Why did Umar radiallahu anhu not tell, why didn't he tell that woman? She was just a widow with her kids who barely knew about who was the Khalifa, right? And he didn't tell her. And that was the case in many places. So there's no urge of him telling, and there's no urge to hide anything, right? So back to the same principle, that your private and public life should be equal, that you have nothing there to hide. Yes, you have your own privacy that you don't want to, and that's, that's modesty, and that's, privacy of, personal property, and all of that, belongings, that you need to private life, that you do things that you don't do in public, and certain things in public you don't do it at home. That's a different thing. But in terms of encouragement to do something, or not to do something, that shouldn't change whether you're in public or in private life. So you will give whether people knew about it or not. You will pray your tahajjud every day whether people know about it or not. You will go and help, certain relatives of yours, whether other relatives recognize it or not, or whether even they send a thank you letter or not. That's why so many of the scholars, Zainul Abidin, rahimahullah, radiallahu anhu, the great grandson of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the great grandson of Hussein radiallahu anhu, Ali Zain al-Abidin, it was mentioned that one of his secrets of his life, that after he died, there were hundreds of widows and families and orphans that they were receiving stipend, help from Ali ibn Zayn al-Abidin radiallahu anhu. For his entire life, nobody knew about it. Nobody knew. After he died, and he and I'm assuming that he never even wished that after he passes away, people know about him. He has a, you know, a memorial built for him. I don't think he ever even thought of that. So there are four things that that is usually the purification of the heart by removing four things. Love of praise, always to be praised, especially praising people in their face is not good. So that's one remedy to kind of take away the love of praise. Fear of blame, right? Like I mentioned, desire for worldly benefit, from people, and the fear of harm from people. So, أنا عندي كله سواء. To me, everything is equal, whether people know or don't know. I need to do what Allah wants me to do, and what is Allah pleased with me. And Allahu Akbar. And it's a hard work. It's always a hard work. It's always a job to do, and it's always something that we always have to work on and to try our best. Sometimes to do things in secret and not let anybody know, and do things sometimes in open so people know. And also, it encourages other people, especially if you are head of the household, a family member, to encourage people to cheer up people, and to give them hope. It's good to show them, the acts that you do, the good acts that you do. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us, to protect us from riya, and from takabbur, and ta'ajjub, and all those diseases of the heart, of showing off, of arrogance, of ostentation, and all those diseases. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us true believers that always do acts of deeds with ikhlas, with sincerity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, I think we're good at this point. Inshallah, we'll like to make the readings, inshallah, available. Let's see if we can get the slides, inshallah. Ya Rabbana Ya Kareem. Okay, I got it. Oh, you already have it there. Okay. I was just opening. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا وقعت الواقعة ليس لوقعتها كاذبة خافضة رافعة. إذا رجت الأرض رجا وبست الجبال بسا فكانت هباء منبثا وكنتم أزواجا ثلاثة فأصحاب الميمنة ما أصحاب الميمنة وأصحاب المشأمة ما أصحاب المشأمة والسابقون السابقون أولئك المقربون في جنات النعيم ثلة من الأولين وقليل من الآخرين على سرر موضونة متكئين عليها متقابلين يطوف عليهم ولدان مخلدون بأكواب وأباريق وكأس من معين لا يصدعون عنها ولا ينزفون وفاكهة مما يتخيرون ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما سلاما وأصحاب اليمين ما أصحاب اليمين في سدر مخضود وطلح منضود وظل ممدود وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إن شاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين وأصحاب الشمال ما أصحاب الشمال في سموم وحميم وظل من يحموم لا بارد ولا كريم إنهم كانوا قبل ذلك مترفين وكانوا يصرون على الحنث العظيم وكانوا يقولون أئذا متنا وكنا ترابا وعظاما أئنا لمبعوثون أو آباؤنا الأولون قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم ثم إنكم أيها الضالون المكذبون لآكلون من شجر من زقوم فمالئون منها البطون فشاربون عليه من الحميم فشاربون شرب الهيم هذا نزلهم يوم الدين نحن خلقناكم فلولا تصدقون أفرأيتم ما تمنون أأنتم تخلقونه أم نحن الخالقون نحن قدرنا بينكم الموت وما نحن بمسبوقين على أن نبدل أمثالكم وننشئكم فيما لا تعلمون ولقد علمتم النشأة الأولى فلولا تذكرون أفرأيتم ما تحرثون أأنتم تزرعونه أم نحن الزارعون لو نشاء لجعلناه حطاما فظلتم تفكهون إنا لمغرمون بل نحن محرومون أفرأيتم الماء الذي تشربون أأنتم أنزلتموه من المزن أم نحن المنزلون لو نشاء جعلناه أجاجا فلولا تشكرون أفرأيتم النار التي تورون أأنتم أنشأتم شجرتها أم نحن المنشئون نحن جعلناها تذكرة ومتاعا للمقوين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم فلا أقسم بمواقع النجوم وإنه لقسم لو تعلمون عظيم إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون لا يمسه إلا المطهرون تنزيل من رب العالمين أفبهذا الحديث أنتم مدهنون وتجعلون رزقكم أنكم تكذبون فلولا إذا بلغت الحلقوم وأنتم حينئذ تنظرون ونحن أقرب إليه منكم ولكن لا تبصرون فلولا إن كنتم غير مدينين ترجعونها إن كنتم صادقين فأما إن كان من المقربين فروح وريحان وجنة نعيم وأما إن كان من أصحاب اليمين فسلام لك من أصحاب اليمين وأما إن كان من المكذبين الضالين فنزل من حميم وتصلية جحيم إن هذا لهو حق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم. سبحان الله وبحمده سبحان الله العظيم. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on this blessed night and this blessed evening of the 14th of Ramadan and following the 15th night of Ramadan, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our community and all of our family members and ourselves, and give us afiyah, give us well-being in our dunya, in our deen, and in all of our affairs. And oh Allah, uplift the calamity of the ummah of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And oh Allah, give shifa to all those who are sick in our community and those who have passed on to the next world. Oh Allah, excuse their shortcoming, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Brother Wajid, who is the nephew of Brother Abdullah Kauthar, who passed away back in India. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala excuse his shortcomings, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannat al-Firdaus and accept all of his good deeds, accept his ibadat, in particular in Ramadan. And oh Allah, all of those who have passed on to the next world, a few other community members who have also lost some of their family members. Oh Allah, with all of them, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness for them. Allahumma ighfir lahum warhamhum wa'afihim wa'afu anhum akrim nuzulahum wasi' mudkhalahum واغسلهم بالماء والثلج والبرد ونقهم من الذنوب والخطايا كما ينقى الثوب الأبيض من الدنس اللهم جازم بالحسنات إحسانا وبالسيئات عفوا وغفرانا. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give shifa to all those who are suffering all around the world. And oh Allah, give shifa to all of our family members and those who have afflicted from the people that we know. Oh Allah, give them shifa دائما عاجلا مستمرا. Oh Allah, we ask you with the beautiful words and the beautiful recitation of this Surah Waqi'ah and all the good deeds in the fasting of Ramadan and the supplication and the recitation of the Quran, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts all of our good deeds and He excuses our shortcomings and He forgives us and He pardons us and He uplifts this difficulty. Oh Allah, make this Ramadan a better Ramadan than the previous one. And oh Allah, make us end Ramadan strong with higher faith and a higher yaqeen and higher tawakkul and higher reliance on you, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, accept our very little ibadah that we're able to do in this month of Ramadan and make it only for your sake, and give us ikhlas and protect us and protect our hearts and our minds from all the diseases inwardly and outwardly. Give our hearts shifa. Oh Allah, give our minds shifa. Oh Allah, give our hearts shifa. Make it pure, make it clean, purified from all the illnesses, from showing off, from all the disease of the heart, from the riya, from ta'ajjub, from ujub, from kibr, and from all the different diseases of the heart. Oh Allah, protect us and give us a sound heart and make us from those who will come to you on a day of judgment with a sound heart. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. الحمد لله رب العالمين. We still have a few more minutes before sunset. I believe tonight is 7:51 sunset in Sharon. Uh, please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone? Inshallah. So we still have another 5 minutes, inshallah. So let's say a few adhkar, inshallah, from the remaining adhkar that we have in this book, inshallah, from the adhkar that, oh, okay, where I am. Ya Rabbana Ya Kareem. So we already did that part. Let's do one of these adhkar. Inshallah, as we continue on this, we'll say these two. فسبحان أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فسبحان الله حين تمسون وحين تصبحون وله الحمد في السماوات والأرض وعشيا وحين تظهرون يخرج الحي من الميت ويخرج الميت من الحي ويحيي الأرض بعد موتها وكذلك تخرجون أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر سبحان الله عما يشركون هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم سلام على نوح في العالمين إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم اللهم إني أمسيت منك في نعمة وعافية وستر فأتمم نعمتك علي وعافيتك وسترك في الدنيا والآخرة اللهم إني أمسيت منك في نعمة وعافية وستر فأتمم نعمتك علي وعافيتك وسترك في الدنيا والآخرة اللهم إني أمسيت منك في نعمة وعافية وستر فأتمم نعمتك علي وعافيتك وسترك في الدنيا والآخرة اللهم إني أمسيت أشهدك وأشهد حملة عرشك وملائكتك وجميع خلقك أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك وأن سيدنا محمدا عبدك ورسولك اللهم إني أمسيت أشهدك وأشهد حملة عرشك وملائكتك وجميع خلقك أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك وأن سيدنا محمدا عبدك ورسولك اللهم إني أمسيت أشهدك وأشهد حملة عرشك وملائكتك وجميع خلقك أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك وأن سيدنا محمدا عبدك ورسولك الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا آمنت بالله العظيم وكفرت بالجبت والطاغوت واستمسكت بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم آمنت بالله العظيم وكفرت بالجبت والطاغوت واستمسكت بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والله سميع عليم رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم نبيا ورسولا رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم نبيا ورسولا رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم نبيا ورسولا. There's someone who requested dua for their sister. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give her shifa, give her afiyah, and give her recovery and make it easy for all of those who are suffering and all of those who have any uh, um, any difficulty in their physical, in their health. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of us, accept our du'as and our supplication, all the little bit that we have done. You can continue these du'as if you can do it on your own, finish the du'as. I'm sure a lot of you have now already know it, so you can finish it inshallah. And it's time to call the adhan, and I'm going to grab my date.
Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Allahu Ekber, Allahu Ekber. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü en la ilahe illallah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Eşhedü enne Muhammeden Resulullah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya alel felah. Hayya alel felah. Allahu Ekber, Allahu أكبر لا إله إلا الله. Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullahi ve Berekatuhu.